shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Center Stage. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino's Spot. It's normally Tuesdays, but we've had last week was Monday and today is Monday because our show is starting on Wednesday and we need to have a dress rehearsal, so we can't do Tuesday. But we are having a rebroadcast on Tuesday. So if you're watching and it's Tuesday, you're watching a rebroadcast from last night. But you can still leave comments as well. And also tonight, Monday, you can leave comments and we will respond to them live in the studio because we've got John Allan. As you can see, we have John Allan on tonight, and we're talking about fishing and charters and cruises and stuff in our harbour, in our very own GQ or PE or NMB harbour. And we've also got great news because it's been raining. It's been raining and raining, and the water from all angles is coming into the dams, finally hitting the dams, which is really good news. I believe we are up to around 40% of all the dams. Our main dam, of course, was a big overflow dam, is only about 13% or 15%. So that's going to start filling up as soon as the others start overflowing. So we need to get like Churchill Dam and those dams to 100% plus, and then all those will run into the main dam. So we're going to find out, I'm sure, next week from our weather guru. We'll have to have an update because it looks really, really good and it's promising. And of course, all our tanks are filled as well because that's what we need to do. We need to get that whatever rain comes anytime, we've got to collect it up and try and make a plan for our water. So restrictions will lift when it gets to 65%, and we are on about 40% or so. Thank you to our sponsors, of course, Spar, which has been with us since the very beginning. And for our show coming up, for our Sensational 6 show, which the photo will come up right now. That's right. The Sensational 6 show is starting on Wednesday. On Wednesday, as you can see, it's flying. So is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Is that right? So sorry, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That is the 5th, 6th, 3rd, 4th, 5th of August, and then the 8th of August as well. And that is our wonderful band. Look at them. Look at the very nice photo of all of them. That's on my side. That's I won't even go from left to right. It's the new Center Stage All-Star Band. It's we've had a whole bunch of rehearsals, and we're getting on. Famously, it's going to be a good vibe. It's a good vibe already in the rehearsal studio. So the show is getting set up at the moment as we speak. They are at the Hellenic Hall setting up for that, and that is going to be so cool. The songs are sounding amazing, and so for a nice week break. A weekend break as well, you can go and check out those shows. I think the Friday and Saturday shows are pretty chockers at the moment. I think the Thursday, there are some tickets available still for this Thursday, and also the 8th is a new show that we've opened, and that also has some tickets available. Now, of course, the sponsors there are Fitch and Leeds, and also Sovereign Chicken. They have a fantastic, what a lovely bunch of people. So they are our sponsors, as well as Hunters. Hunters has jumped on as well to help our local musos so that we can get these shows happening again. Because since the plague, it's been a mursha thing for the musos to try and get back on their feet. And so this is our first really big one. Since Lord knows when. This decade, according to Gary Hemmings, this decade which has only just started in 2020 and really only just started in 2023 because of the plague. Right, now I'm going to sing you a song. We've got John Allan's waiting in the wings to come and chat to me, and so we're going to be chatting about all sorts of things. But in the meantime, I can sing you some stuff. Tell me where you are watching from and what you are doing. Oh, I mustn't forget one more thing. One more announcement I have to make before we get going is I got a message from Brendan Kelly. Brendan Kelly has given me a message. I'm coughing as well, but so you'll have to excuse me with my coughing. I'll have to have this little whiskey, this little hot toddy to keep me going. But Brendan Kelly has a message about a thing that is coming up this weekend. So let's have a quick. We're going to whoop over to the motor mouth and see what he's got to say.
How's it, Gino? Great to be on the show once again, and good evening to all of the people watching. It's an open invitation for everybody to come out to Aldous-Grabunty Raceway on Saturday for the Winter Motorsport Festival. The SA Endurance Series guys will be here. The whole GT Series will be here, so it'll be the likes of the Scrabunties up against Michael Stephen, all the local support for Scrabunties and the Stevens. Stuart White on his way back from Spa-Francorchamps after his great performance this weekend. So a whole lot of action happening out at Scrabunty. EP Regional Saloons will be there. We've got 23 Formula GTI Challenge cars coming up from Cape Town, so lots of action there. The local motorbikes, CBR 150s, 250s, all the classes will be action. The big one is the 4-hour endurance race that starts at 4:30 on Saturday afternoon. So tickets available at the gate. 80 Rand gets you in there. It's going to be an action-packed day out at Aldous-Grabunty. We hope to see you all there. Cheers, guys. Good evening.
What a lovely lad he is. I'm going to just show the poster as well that he did send me. It looks like a great time. And obviously, Scrabunty, always a great time to be out there. Look at that lekker little Mercedes. I think that one you can go and visit at Maritime Motors at the moment. It's sitting there. That looks like one moosh car, that. Let me tell you. And there's going to be full of that stuff this weekend. So if you're a petrol head, make sure you make your way down there. All right. So send me some messages. Tell me what you're doing. Give me some messages to sing, and I'll do a little song for you. Why not? And then we're going to get into John Allan. He's going to come around, and we're going to have him live here in the studio to chat to you as well. So you can send him any questions, anything you want to know about the harbour, anything you need to know. So let's have a look at and do a little song for you. See who's online. Say how's it. Say hello. Ask me a question. You can whatever you want to do. You shake my nerve and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will. Oh, what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. You left in love because I thought it was funny. You came along and moved me, honey. Come on, baby. You drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Tyson in the air. Hey, you practice catch and release. Oh, yes, I'm sure he does. Kamala Ellis says, hello there. Looking forward to some fish stories. That's what we're going to give you lots and lots and lots, yeah. Wendy Thompson's here. She says, hello, Brendan Kelly. Thanks, Gino. Watch it from the freezing Miramar, yeah. Take a little shade, that's nice. Oh, AMGs, is that what they are? Nice. Very expensive, that's what I say. Oh, yeah, that's right. Colin Barris is online. He says, Nathan says hello. Hello, Nathan. I hope you're watching. John, where's my sushi? That's what he said. It's me, baby. Feel good. Hold me, baby. I want to love you like a lover should. You're so good. You're so fine. I want to tell the world that you're mine, 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 mine. Chew my nails and I twiddle my thumbs. Brandon Kelly says that's gonna be from Maritime from midday tomorrow. So if you want to go visit them there at Maritime, check out that car. It's like a great little car, and you can check it up close. Lovely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time, and we're not going to bugger around anymore because it's time to get John Allan into the chair. So let's get it going.
Ooh, welcome to the show. Now it's your time to shine. You gonna have a like a chat tonight. Another good time.
Here we go. We're in. There we are. In and on.
Evening, Gino.
Fantastic to have you here, John.
Thank you very much.
You know, we've heard your name being dropped many times when we've been talking to various people about fishing and the charters and the harbour, and it's always Big John. He's always at the harbour. He's always doing his thing.
Yeah, well, let's hope it's all good things.
Well, you know, I see Colin Paris on online as well.
Yeah, good mate of mine.
He goes out with you quite a lot, you know.
Yep.
Does he? Do you have big batteries and solar panels on the top when he's out there? Because he
No.
does electrical. He does electrical.
That's it, yeah. No, but him and I fished together in a couple of marlin tournaments, tuna tournaments, Cape Town, Sodwana.
Okay. So I bet you got some stories there.
Yeah.
Not to be repeated
Yeah,
online.
yeah. What happens in Sodwana stays in Sodwana.
Classic. And I know he's got young Nathan that he takes. He's taken
Yeah,
out.
he's part of my team, Nathan.
Has he? Is
Yeah.
he? Oh, lovely.
Colin's son.
Yes, and he's. I've seen some posts that he's made there. The little guys catching some
Oh,
fish.
man, I'll tell you something.
Yeah,
He's a fisherman of note.
lovely. And it's I mean, clearly doing these charters, you meet a whole bunch of people as well. So it's truly a community.
Absolutely diverse bunch of people.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Mm.
Fishermen, non-fishermen.
And what's the boat called? What's the company called? We better introduce it.
It's
to
Big
the-
John Fishing Charters.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been operating for 12 years now.
Okay. Oh, there it is. There's a.
Yeah,
yeah, you got the pictures.
that's the new signage.
Oh.
I've just had it done 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
just
I
a
like
little-
that. It's got the thing wavy fishing line going.
Yeah, I'm just a bit concerned about that line's got a break in it. You know, I've got a bad omen.
No, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, no.
Fishermen, sailors are always worried about omens and stuff.
No.
You're not too worried about
No.
that.
As long as there's us in the cooler box.
Classic. And I see Brennan saying that he's drinking a sherry in a freezing Miramar. Yes, it's not too bad here either.
Yeah.
We're in the valley here on this side. So John, let's at the moment. What are your dealings at the moment? What's happening? Is it too cold to go out? Is it
No,
warm?
not at all. Not at all. Look, obviously it's winter time now.
Yeah.
With the weather changes and the winter, summer out, we leave later in the mornings
Okay.
because we do it for the client's sake.
Yes. Yeah.
But the fishing's just as good in winter time.
All right.
But obviously with the wind and the rain, Port Elizabeth known for its wind,
Yes, of course.
we're very restricted when we can fish in that.
Okay.
But the clients come first in my game.
Yeah.
I mean, if the weather's bad, a lot of time the guys are very disappointed.
Yeah.
But I'll rather cancel.
Yeah.
And we leave it for another day when the weather's good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose it's part of the whole safety
No,
routine.
it's not just that, A lot of the guys, it's their first experience. And you don't want to give them their first experience where they're lying on the boat getting sick, making these funny noises. Sounds like Animal Farm on the boat.
I'm
So
sure.
you rather cancel, you take them out when the weather's good,
Okay.
and they'll come back again.
I mean, what causes this? Is it just the motion?
Yeah, it's the motion of the ocean.
And do you get used to it? Do you ever get used to it?
Yes, you do. Look, I've never been sick from seasickness.
Yeah.
We might have stayed at the club too long.
A very telling answer.
Yeah. You stay at the club too long on the night before, it might have a
detrimental
adverse effect the next
Yes.
morning. Yeah, but some people just can't handle it. Unfortunately,
Yeah. I suppose all the ear. It's the ear story.
It's motion sickness. Guys get it with the motor vehicle and things like that. So you've got to be very careful when you choose your groups as well.
Yeah.
Because you might get a group that books the boat. Then you get 3 groups of 2.
Yeah.
And of course you get the one oak that's dying.
One guy.
And he wants to go back and the other oaks don't want to. So
Of course. So he's got to sit there and
he's got to sit there for 6-7 hours and just put up with it.
Yeah, that must be tough. I don't know if there's anybody else out there that gets seasick, but
I guarantee you there's lots of them. It's like carrying a wet blanket off the boat sometimes.
Okay, and then and so I mean, I would as a person who doesn't know, there's a bit of a philistine with this stuff. I mean, you always think like, oh, summer there's going to be much more happening, but I'm thinking of like a tour around the thing. You know, the fishermen, they don't care. They're like surfers. They'll go out in the most.
Yeah, look, yeah, when I've had like groups already, and we go down there, and there's like a semi-gale force wind, and it's raining.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because PE's weather, you have like a 50-50. Now you cancel that night, the night before, and the next morning it's like perfect weather. You know? So
of course.
What we try and do, we get down there in the morning and we give the guys the option.
Okay.
And then of course you get the diehards that want to go out. You know, so we take the guys out.
Yeah.
And obviously it's all safety related. We let them know as well that obviously your fishing area is then restricted. You can't go to some of the areas where you want to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things, you know.
Is it rougher? I suppose out in the wild side it would be.
It depends which wind's blowing. You know, the wild side, you get the westerly wind that's going to hammer you out there.
Okay.
And also, you go to Bird Island, you've got to come back with a westerly wind.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the Ryebanks as well, which, look, the Ryebanks aren't far. It's 19 kilometers from the harbour, but still.
Yeah.
19 kilometers, 25-minute ride can turn into an hour and a half ride back.
And that's lots of petrol.
It's not just that. You just get a hammering on the way back, you know, which isn't nice.
Yeah. I see Camilla's saying there, a nice greasy breakfast with bacon and eggs.
Yeah. Easy, because it comes out a lot easier as well. I've had lots of phone calls from guys asking me what's the best thing
to eat
for strawberry, for seasickness, and I tell them strawberry jam. Yeah, because it tastes nice when it goes down, it tastes nice when it comes up.
No, terrible. Oh my word.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's basically the at the moment. So it's weather dependent, but you can see a couple of days. You'll read that weather.
We do check the weather, you know, but it's not just bad weather where people get sick in. You know, it's just the sea sometimes.
Yeah,
sure. It just affects different people differently, unfortunately.
Yeah. So you don't have a season as such.
No.
It's a very constant flow.
Yeah, obviously summertime when it's warmer, it's better for fishing and that. But in wintertime, you get your nice line fish and that type of thing as well. You know, so.
Yeah. And the type of fish that you catch when you're going out on a.
Look, we generally do bottom fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So you get your reef fish like your Busterman, your Red Romans, your Daggerheads, Miss Lucy's, your Yellowtail, which feeding shoals. So if they come around, you catch a couple of them.
Wow, okay.
And in summer times when the water's warmer, you get your bait fish, then you get your bonitos. Mm-hmm. And you can stick out a rapala, and, you know, the guys take turns in each catching their little bonito or two.
Okay, what's a rapala? Is it like a
it's
lure?
a lure. It's a lure you stick out the back. Yeah, there's obviously different types, different makes. Rapala's a certain make.
Okay.
But
okay. I know a lot of guys make their own lures.
Yeah, look, Oaks make their plugs and little feathers and lead heads and things like that. Yeah. That's a thing that's taken off a bit, as well as jigging, where you got like a little leaded weight with like little feathers on it. You drop it down, you jig it from the bottom.
Yeah.
And they don't use bait at all.
Jeez.
And I have had guys that ask me whether they want to jig. And a lot of the guys now also catch and release.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of the guys, you know, we catch a lot of trophy fish, and I often get lambasted by the bunny huggers.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the guy's paid for his trip. He's within his rights to keep that fish. And
as long as it's legal, I suppose.
It's legal, yeah. I mean, we obviously try and encourage guys to put fish back, especially the protected species like red stemras, kunsies, and that. But as I say, if it's within his right to keep it, he's welcome to keep it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, last week we were talking about the fact that the older, bigger fish that don't produce as fast.
Yes,
like the tunny and that stuff. They
can
keep up.
Tunny, yellowtail, your pelagics, they breed like flies.
They do. Gary puts on questions every now and again. You can see that you guys can't see them out there, but they flocked across the road. Says, do you charter more fishing excursions or sightseeing?
It's basically fishing, but we do a lot of sightseeing as well. Often when we come back from a fishing expedition, we always back around about 1-2 o'clock. And then by then, the club is humming.
Yes.
And then, of course, you get the people showing interest and they want to come down. They want to do a harbour cruise.
Yes.
Inquire about
Sunset cruise.
Sunset cruises. I do beachfront cruises. I've had weddings on the boat. I've scattered a lot of ashes. I've had people that want to have a burial on board.
Yeah.
I opted out of that because the casket's got to be coated in lead. You've got to take a policeman with you. And
You actually can do that.
yeah.
That's like a thing.
Yeah, but as I said, I quickly bombed out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, as I say,
The way they do that, just like row out just so and then throw it overboard. You just need to tie an anchor around the guy, actually.
yeah, look, there's obviously a lot of first timers that do this fishing thing, and then obviously your serious fishermen as well. The serious fishermen generally book a group for themselves, and then the various areas that we fish in as well. Because look, Sunday's River has now been incorporated into Addo. The St. Croix Island area. It's the only reserve in the world which has got the big 7. Now they've incorporated the great whites and the whales. That was our main fishing area.
All right. So now you can't fish there anymore.
You can't fish there, but as I say, from Sunday's River mouth, you can fish upwards. So obviously, if the guys want to fish that area, there's a bit of a surcharge because it's 22 miles from the harbour.
Yes, petrol.
And unfortunately, petrol costs have nailed us heavily over the last couple of years. And obviously, we've tried to keep costs down to make it affordable for the anglers as well.
What size are those motors on the back of it?
Well, I had 150s on the back, 150 horsepower Suzuki's. Fortunately, they're 4-strokes, so they're a bit lighter than 2-strokes. And you don't get that oil smell as well.
That's also, yes. I know Fires wanted to find out, he couldn't be here tonight, but he wanted to find out about the marlin. Do you ever come across marlin in the bay?
Yes, we have. We've actually, it depends where, the current brings the warm water in. We've seen a marlin at the Bellboy before. And then, obviously, going out to the tuna grounds, we've come across marlin as well. Well, the guys have hooked some. There's a good couple of guys at our club that have caught marlin before. So it all depends on the water temperature, the bait fish, the currents, things like that.
Is a marlin the same as a sailfish?
No, your sailfish don't grow as big as marlin. Sailfish, you don't really get many sailfish out there, but your marlin, your blue marlin, your black marlin, there's a good couple of them out there.
Wow. And the tuna stocks at the moment, I mean, I know we were talking about it last week, the tuna stocks, are they okay?
Our tuna stocks are fine. I mean, if you had to look at what's happening in Cape Town with the size of the tuna the guys are catching in their tuna season and that. And it all depends in our area as well. I mean, we had our tuna classic. I mean, the first day we caught 8 tuna on the boat. And 2 days later, I think on the first day, the boats caught 81 tuna. The third day we got 15. Not because they weren't dead, because of the weather. So.
Gee whiz.
It's good news when you hear that guys want to go and do a run for tuna, then you can see what they're catching. Know whether it's worthwhile for yourself to go.
For sure. I see Gary's got some pictures there that he's got. Maybe we can chat about that a bit. Let's have a quick squiz. What is that?
That's a Busterman. Also called a soldier or a Santa. It's got different names. Yeah, it's a very nice eating fish. Very common reef fish that we get around here. That's a decent size one. That's a yellowtail that I caught.
That is big.
Yeah, it was a decent size yellowtail. It was very thin though. If it was a nourished yellowtail, it would have been extra 4 or 5 kilos.
Really, wow.
But it gave me a run for my money.
They're proper game fish.
No, look, that's one of your strongest fighting fish.
Really,
in the ocean. They're really dogs as well. When you hook them, they take you straight to the reefs to try and run you off.
And the type of line that you fish with these things?
No, we use monofilament, your normal, call it gut, for my clients. A lot of the guys are moving over to braid. which is a lot thinner, but I can't use that for charter groups because it's very expensive, and of course if it gets tangled, you don't get those little knots loose because it's so thin. So,
and
that's a Poenskop black steenbras. So one of our protected species. That one was released.
So you do a lot of catch and release.
We also, as I say, we encourage our clients to do the same. But
and that looks like a weird bloody thing.
That's a Miss Lucy.
Okay.
In Cape Town, they call him the magistraat. It's got a very distinctive smell, that fish, but it's one of your top line fish.
Okay.
They say they swim in pairs.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's a family that was wiped out.
But it tastes nice. I just see a couple of comments there while we sounds like Gino's seasick. You're right. I've been had this cough for a couple of days now. I've got to lose it. Got to get rid of that. Debbie Nikita saying, how long are the boat trips?
Debbie, you should know your husband's been on the boat. Currently in winter time, we depart at 7 o'clock in the morning and we pack up about 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Okay. She's just checking on her husband to see.
No.
Actually, where you go?
She's over in Ireland.
Oh, is she in Ireland?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope it's lovely over there. And Debbie, it's looking good. Jonah, Mark on way to join you on another trip. I'll stay with Ty. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, she wants to see how much wine time she's got.
No.
Really. Yeah.
Mark's been on my boat.
What inspired you to start your
Gino,
business?
I've fished my whole life. I was very, very fortunate as a youngster. We used to drive around the marine. My parents used to drive around the marine on a weekend. We used to go and braai there, and we fish in little rock pools and that.
Yeah.
And then obviously, when my dad had weekends off, we used to go to Cape St. Francis, the good old Cape St. Francis.
Yes.
That's why I would like Mike to have been here, because there's a lot of the old sea dogs that I remember from those days, a lot of the guys that are no longer with us. And we fished rock and surf fishing. And then obviously, as I got older, I bought myself a little riverboat. It was nice for the family because my kids fished with me.
Yeah.
And as they got older, let's call it social media, which is a bane to a lot of the parents. I think a lot of parents use it as a escape to keep the kids out of the air, but unfortunately, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I might be
especially
speaking,
for us oldies,
No, I might be speaking out of turn, but I've seen on the boat as well the kids, the little girls outfish the guys 10-1.
They just focus better.
Yeah,
The kids
their fingers are too used to those little controls of the
Right.
TV games, unfortunately.
Okay.
And fishing the river, we fished light tackle, we fished 3 facets, which was river, freshwater, and Bay League. And fishing in the Bay League, I bought myself a little deep sea boat eventually.
Okay. Because you started out with a riverboat.
Yeah, and then of course I bought a bigger deep sea boat and a bigger deep sea boat, and then it became a lot more lucrative going out to fish, and you can take some fish home and that type of thing. Yeah, and then as I say, in the corporate world, I've seen a lot of my mates go on pension.
Mm-hmm.
A year later, that oak's ill, and oak's got this disease and that disease. And I thought, you work your whole life.
Yeah.
And then you go on pension. I might sound a bit negative to some guys now, but there's things we want to do in life.
Of course.
Go out and do those things. I did this about 12 years ago, and it's grown into like a little business.
Yeah.
And I've never, ever, ever looked back.
Yeah. There's no such thing as retiring these days for anybody, I don't think. You retire from maybe your corporate job, but then you're going to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. But, don't wait until that so-called retirement age of 63 or 60 or 65. And some of the guys get given packages to leave. And, so go and do what you want to do while you can do it.
It's true, and I mean, you've clearly done it, and I know, especially with COVID, this whole thing is I think pushed people to actually just say, listen, life's short, you got to.
I've seen that with a lot of guys, and obviously some of the guys started their home brews.
Yeah.
And a lot of acts have actually turned it into a little business.
Yeah.
And that they're doing very, very well out of it,
Yeah.
So some people just need to be inspired.
Yeah. Yeah. Any memorable sort of stories that you've got about with the clients? I mean, I'm sure you get some crazy clients.
Oh, no, there's so many. I had these 2 Spaniards, hunters. They came down.
Españolos.
Yellow. They come down with their full camo regalia with boots and everything.
Yes.
And because they've shot a kudu, they think they're Jean-Claude Van Damme. And the one I hooked into a fish and I asked him, can I help him? And he pushed me away and he said, no, he's strong. He can sort himself out. So I said, okay. So I let that battle along and then he pulled this ragged-tooth shark of about 100 kilos next to the boat there.
Holy crap.
And it took him a while, and eventually we obviously cut the line off, let the fish go.
Yep.
And then his mate wanted to catch one. And he moved into the corner of the boat and he slipped and he fell into the water.
Oh!
And his mate had hooked a ragged-tooth shark, which was busy playing as well. So, of course, as I came to the back of the boat, his eyes looked like saucers.
I'm sure he must have been...
Of course, yeah, after he saw the size of the shark, then you get, you know. And, of course, he, like, shot onto the boat. I don't know how he got onto the boat so quickly. And then when we got back, he didn't want to pay me. He said, no, because I let him fall in the water.
It was your fault now.
Yeah, it was my fault. And then, you know, we've had, like, as I say, one of those little groups where we had the father-son fishing at the back, the father-son in the front there.
Yeah.
And the old man at the back hooked into a nice punchi.
Mm-hmm.
Got a picture somewhere. And as he was pulling it up, this great white bit it in half.
Yo!
And we took a photograph of the head and that.
Jeez.
And then the little lighty on the nose of the boat went fast. And obviously he was about 10, 12 years old, and the dad was concerned there, wanting to help him. It was a small little cob.
Yeah.
Of course, the lighty pulled it out the water. As he pulled it out the water, this great white came shooting out the water.
Yo!
The dad did a backflip and landed in the corner of the boat there.
Sure. Yes, like.
Yeah, we've had bachelor parties where I was coming back at like 25 knots and I heard the splash and the bachelor decided to dive off the boat at 25 knots.
Of course, because you're much braver once you've had a couple.
Yeah, you know, which I don't encourage the guys to jump off the boat.
No, I'm sure.
And when St. Croix was still open as well, I had a couple of American students.
Yeah.
2 of them were young ladies. And, of course, we were right amongst a huge pot of dolphins, and they wanted to swim with the dolphins.
Oh, my soul. Okay.
So I said, yeah, well, you know, I've got a rope here with a buoy on it. Let me just tie it onto the back of the boat. So, of course, I heard the splash, and eventually there were 8 of them in the water, you know.
Yo.
Then they asked me to take photographs of them. And of course, eventually I said, guys, ladies, we've got to leave now, you know. So we pulled them all out the water and went back to the harbour. And they said it was one of the most amazing experiences they've ever had in their lives, where the 2 chicks were in the water and this dolphin swam between them and made little noises and that. And then that night I thought, you know, I was thinking about this story and I thought, you know, they're swimming amongst the dolphins, the shark comes and grabs one of them. I come back to the harbour, I explain one of my crew.
Yes, how do you explain?
Still there at St. Croix, you know.
Oh, my soul, I know.
Yeah,
it can be so dangerous.
That's why we don't encourage swimming off the boat.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience, but hell, it could have ended better.
No, look, as I say,
I think you only do once.
That is why we have a briefing at the club before we leave.
Yeah, for sure.
All the do's and don'ts.
Yeah. Any unusual fish that you've found? Eh?
Look, obviously we've had our sunfish.
Oh wow!
A sunfish, they live off blue bottles and
can
jelly.
Be huge, those things. Eh?
Up to 300 kilos. You know.
Wow!
And then I had my son with me the one day, and he smokes. I don't smoke.
Yes.
And he was sitting on the nose of the boat with his feet through the rails, and he said, "Dad, there's something in the water here." So I put the boat on autopilot and I went and had a look, and there was an orca swimming next to him.
Yo.
But a huge orca, you know, and it would fall back to about 20 meters and quickly catch up to the boat again. Right there where my son, I said to him, well, I'll get my feet into the boat if I was you, know. This could be looking for some breakfast. And we've had orcas swim into my anchor up and tow the boat around a bit already.
Wow. Really, the whole thing.
Yeah, and then
those things are supposed to be so bloody intelligent, and they
you see, they've got teeth.
Yeah.
So they just come swimming past. I mean, they swim into the anchor up. So They don't do it intentionally, obviously.
Yes.
But it's still scary. We just stand there with a sharp knife. Cut if we have to.
Cut the anchor.
And then I saw the birds diving out there the one day as well, and I said to the guys, let's take a drive and have a look there.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of seals, like about 15 of them, but they were like trying to get on top of one another. I thought, no, they're trying to mate. Then, of course, I heard this blow.
Yeah.
And I said, hang on, there's a pot of orcas over here,
Jeez, like.
Yeah, so, as I say, great whites, big great whites.
Yeah.
As I say, it's amazing what you see out there.
You take some photos as well. I know.
Yeah,
Lloyd, Lloyd does a lot of
Yeah,
photography.
you see, they do that, but obviously us with the fishermen and that. Look, we've had thresher sharks flying out the water next to us, mackerel sharks.
Yeah.
But often you haven't got your camera with you,
Of course,
and it's too late. So,
yes, I know.
yeah,
I know. And whales?
plenty. It's their breeding time now.
Yeah.
They come here to breed,
Yeah.
and so we see lots of whales.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And then, so you say you do the fishing charters, but then also the little bit of sightseeing as well.
We do the bay cruises. It starts with a harbour cruise. We've got a harbour cruise for somebody that just wants to do like a 45-minute cruise.
Okay.
And obviously the price is per boat. So if you're 1 or 9 people, the price is the same.
Okay.
Then we do the beachfront cruises, which is out the harbour, all the way along the beachfront. We stop at the pier, go down to the
that's
lighthouse, around the bellboy.
Like a
and
fun
back.
cruise, eh?
Like, sundowner cruise as well.
Lekker.
And then obviously we do the St. Croix Island cruise, where you go and see the 3 penguins.
Yes, I'm shame, man. Yes. Are they looking
It's
bad? Eh?
dismal, Dismal. I know the guys are having a meeting this week.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah. So really, no. I mean, you see penguins, but not many.
No. I spoke to one of Lloyd's guys the other day, and he said a lot of the dead penguins, they have found trace elements of fuel and diesel in the body from this bunkering. So there's a big meeting about the bunkering going on, and I might be speaking out of turn. There's been a couple of spills as well.
But I'm sure there's spills.
I think these oaks are pulling the wool over our eyes. If they say they might have spilled 500 litres, it's more like 5,000. Yeah. So
you know that with a corporate, it's always going to be under. Oh no, it's not so bad. We haven't had any spill. But if they're doing it out there, the bunkering, there's going to be spills.
Look, it's money.
Of course,
it's money. So that is why I can't understand that we've incorporated the St. Croix Island area into at an elephant park.
Yeah.
To stop us from fishing there, yet they allow bunkering. In that area, so it's not us as the fishermen. when they started having these meetings and that as well about, I said to the guys, look, we've had a couple of national competitions here at the club, which has been great. The fishing is good in the Eastern Cape, and can't we fish on a catch and release basis?
Yeah.
But they'd already made up their minds. They said after a couple of years, but it'll never happen.
Yeah.
It just.
Well, there's money to be made. Then you've got to fight hard.
No, it's sad. Yeah. Look, we've fishing the tuna fishing as well. We have our tuna classic every year from Petse. Obviously, St. Francis Bay have also got one.
Yeah.
There's another one that's coming up now that's Tim Christie's organised.
Yes, okay.
And we've come across the long lines out there. Everything nowadays with your satellites, your PCs and that, let's not go to nationalities, let's say the foreigners.
Yes.
They can sit on their PC and let their guys know, chaps,
right there.
Those coordinates, the water's warm. They come into our waters, they drop their long lines.
Yeah, hundreds of kilometers.
They've got satellite receivers on board, and they go out of our waters, and the next night they come in and collect them.
Collect it, so they just do it like that. Hey. This let's have a look at a couple of comments here while we're here too, and I see Mike van Vieren is there getting home shortly, doing superbly well for a land lover. Thank you.
How's it, Mike?
Ricky Lowe saying, best fisherman, I dream to fish by you. He says he dreamed to fish by you.
Well, Ricky, you have my number. Phone me.
I say, Ricky.
There's my ex-boss,
Peter Arnold.
How's it, Pete?
Ex-boss from
I hope you're keeping well.
From where? Where was that?
Aberdeen Cables.
Aberdeen Cables. Were you Aberdeen Cables?
Yeah.
My word.
There's Debbie's husband, Mark.
Elfconic.
Oh, you
yes,
know,
I know
shame.
Alf.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was the engineer. What a great
his
man.
daughter.
Yeah.
And Dale Watson.
Yeah.
As well as my cousin.
Yeah.
My cousin Dale. Sean Sullivan. They were saying Ray and Mel say hello. Oh, there we go.
That was great.
Ray and Rona Kanaki, of course.
Yeah.
And Anthony's out there, Cape Town side. Great show today. Very best. Absolutely. Thank you, Ant. He's a muso out there.
Okay.
The most challenging part of running a charter company and also the best part. I mean,
You know, Gino, as I said, I had like a group on Friday. Husband, wife, 3 little kids, 8, 10, 12.
Yeah.
You see the expression on those kids' face when they pull in that fish. Man, you cannot buy that for $1 million.
So
You know, that when we got back to the harbour, the father said to me, God sent me to you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've got pictures on my phone. He sent me the pictures and that, you know, but it's our juniors are the future of our fishing. And as I say, you know, we've got to do the best that we can for our clients.
Yeah.
And obviously the upkeep of your vessel and that as well.
That's a hell of a thing, I'm sure.
You know, and to make it as comfortable for the people as possible.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, I've got the guy that helps me, Vernon Serini. Him and George fished together those years.
George Rodicanov.
Yeah, so and Vernon fished commercially for about 30, 40 years. And a lot of people think commercial fishing, it's easy. It isn't. You know, just if I can give like a little bit of an intro on it, you own a little commercial boat, and you go out with your 4 crew, and there's nothing biting. Well, nowadays you burn $2,000 fuel, and you've got $1,000 worth of bait on board. Now you can't come back home because these oaks are going to get off your boat and they've got no money. They go. So you got to sit it out there, you know. And obviously with the long liners, the trawlers, fishing isn't what it used to be. And also the restrictions. The restrictions on your fish. I mean, us, as Joe said, we're allowed to take 10 fish home per person. And obviously each fish is what you're allowed to take 1 daggerhead, 5 busterman. Some of the fish, the sizes I feel they can increase. Like an elf, the size for an elf is 300 millimeters. Just stupid. They should make it 350. Because
at least you get more time to breed.
And maybe breed before it's been caught.
But you know, I think that this long line story and the industrial size of some of these boats, these huge boats going out there. I mean, it's the smaller guys have been subsistence fishing for years. That's not really the problem. I think
100% correct. We will never ever make a dent on the fishing like those guys do.
Of course.
You know, even like, you know, if you see our chocker in the Eastern Cape, the chocker industry, our chocker has to be caught by hand. If you look at some of these Japanese ships, they've got these rolls on them, which have got like, I mean, our guys, I think a very good chocker fisherman will probably fish with 4 dollies. But that is your little lure you use to get chocker. Those lines have got like 120 dollies on, and they've got like a reel with like 30 lines. So it's 30 times 120. And they just wind over and the chocker just get thrown over and they go, exactly.
Industrial revolution stuff.
So we at least are keeping our hand on that. Shame the poor.
And I love to see those chocker boats out there. They've got the lights and all the lights.
And
there's a whole culture happening there. You know, those fishermen, they're hard guys.
You know, I've got signage on the side of my boat, the Big John fishing charters. I get tons of messages from wannabe fishermen. They're looking for jobs and that, you know. And I say to Alex, why would you want to do something as cuck as that?
I know, it's such hard work.
You know, those chocker guys go out for 21 days. And I mean, check out this weather. If you're out there at anchor, my man, in this weather.
A lot of dope.
And
a lot of weed.
Some of the green stuff,
How do you choose the best spots for your trips and how do you stay sort of updated with the fish that
our fishing migration patterns is very, very difficult. Obviously, if you fish regularly enough, you're going to know where the fish are. And it all depends on the weather.
Okay.
I mean, often the guys say, like, today the guys have booked a charter on Saturday, and they ask John, where are we going to go on Saturday? I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see when we get outside the harbour, which wind is blowing, where the swells are coming from. Then we'll determine where we go. So,
Okay, we check where it is, and I mean, I remember during the tuna classic. I remember I did a couple of tuna classics, and I started to learn stuff. And still, Shane Gerber was out there that time. They used to have those. What are they called? Rodman boats, eh?
Yeah, the Rodman.
Yeah, and they had the whole computers on board, and the fish finders.
We got all that. Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, for your water temperature, your depth, and your thermocline, where the warm water is, and things like that.
Okay.
A lot of oaks are very confused by it as well.
I'm sure.
But I mean, and then you get the guys that have caught tuna at a certain spot last year.
Yeah.
And then this year they're going to that same spot, you know, which is in the middle of the ocean, is 3,000 meters deep. So,
so it's not always like
that. No, that's not like that at all. No. Obviously, for what we do, we call it reef fishing. You've got your spots that you've marked.
Yes, the reef.
Where there's like little reefs and little pinnacles.
Your
and things
special spot.
There we go. Now, I'll get a couple of guys like Mr. Steve Riley. I don't see him on here.
He might be.
But he fishes with a camera.
Oh,
and we start catching the fish, and he takes a picture of the mark that we're on, you know. So.
Nice. Let's have a look at some of the comments there, Gary. I see Peter Arnold says he's watching from the UK.
Oh.
And you say he's over there at the moment. Oh, nice, Peter.
Yeah.
See that?
Okay.
Is that a wave that he's got a picture of? I see Ricky Lowe saying cage shark, nice, eat a raged shark, nice, also eat, but lady, don't eat.
I think Ricky's smoking something.
Go to McDonald's.
Yeah. No, Ricky.
Ricky, I can't work out what you're saying there, but have another dop and we'll chat. I'm joking. Camilla Ellis.
No, we don't have an open and close. We fish right throughout the year.
Is it right throughout?
We try to take Christmas Day off, but other than that, we fish every day.
You've got to get as many. Mark Renska says, watching from Dublin.
Hey,
Dublin and
get that Irish backside of yours back to South Africa.
Come over here now. Don't be messing around over there, Mark. Don't worry. Let's see. What's the largest and most extraordinary fish that a client's ever caught on your boat?
We've had Mr. Roderick Anaki.
Yes.
We won the Tuna Classic.
Ray.
The old man. Hooked into a manta, right?
Yo.
Yeah, hey, that was out there in the deep.
Talk to Steve Irwin about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then obviously, we've got some decent sized tuna.
Okay.
And obviously the sharks as well.
What's the biggest fish that's been caught?
Well, a 68 kilo tuna off my boat. Yeah.
Yo. There's a dragon in it.
No. Look, a tuna is not
another person on the boat.
It's not a dirty fish. It's not a dirty fighting fish. You catch it in deep water. Yeah. A yellowtail, you catch him in 25, 30 meters of water. I mean, you can feel when he takes you. You feel your line straight onto the rocks and he cuts you off.
Oh, really? So he goes to the rocks?
Oh, no, he's a son of a gun.
Yes, I know.
I rate the yellowtail, one of the best fighting fish out there.
Okay. I see Ricky Lowe's, can you manage to pick up by dispatch? He says, can you arrange to pick up by dispatch?
Pick up what? The yellow? Yeah.
No, he wants to pick him up. You can pick him up and then take him down to the harbour.
I've got a number of Uber for him.
Yeah, we got an Uber for you, man. Ricky, don't worry. You can't name up on dispatch. Come now. Otherwise, what do you say if you mow your lawn and then you find a cortina?
Yeah,
dispatch.
You
find a cortina in the yard.
That's why those dispatchers get away with murder, because the DNA is all the same.
What do you love about the waters in Port Elizabeth? What do you enjoy?
Look, we've got such a diverse range of fishing in PE. You know? You can go around the wild side by schoonies. You get your keelback, all your line fish, the stockfish there. The guys in Noordhoek are very fortunate because they just shoot straight up of Noordhoek there in the Stockfish waters.
I heard that the Noordhoek club there is difficult to get into. You have to know the right people.
Look, I must take my hat off to those folks. They're doing something right there. It's absolutely a fantastic club.
Oh, really?
Really. Yeah. But we'll get to that when we're off the air.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Find the right, because it sounds like it's a great bunch of oaks.
No, it is. Their facilities, I mean, they're always upgrading their facilities for a family guy to go out there on a weekend to go there and brine that as well, Okay. Really a great club. I take my hat off to Pitt and his guys out there from John.
Okay. And any famous people on your boats?
Tuli Marancela.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Tuli Marancela.
Oh.
Summer. Not the new Mpekwe bar.
No. The proper Tuli Marancela. And
take some selfies.
No, I've got a picture of her and I.
Good.
And Liesel Gravenstein.
Oh, Liesel been out.
Yeah.
Was one of her goals. She's a goal
they actually had Tuli down as a guest speaker.
Oh.
And the day we went out, Kobe Pulkit as well. No. Liesel was on the nose of the boat with the photographer.
Okay.
And Tuli was next to me, asking me questions and that, And then she asked me, is that a whale over there? And the sea was a bit on that day.
Yeah.
And of course, I looked where she was pointing.
Yeah.
And I heard this whoop, and I just saw this wall of water. And of course, Liesel's.
All right. No, but she's quite tough.
And the cameraman's, that little fur, it sounded like a squealing goat with the water all over it.
Oh, dear, the cameraman.
But I mean, Tuli was great on the boat, really.
Yeah, she's well respected, that lady.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I see Jonathan Petzer saying, Dasei, lekker warm, John.
Yeah, he's a big game hunter, Jonathan.
Okay. The game, and then what? No, I don't know what he's saying. EFF try close dispatch harbor. EFF trying to close. Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky's talking a lot there.
Listen, there's a lot of good fishermen out dispatch. You don't have to be by the sea to get good fishermen.
There's Colin reminding me.
There. What about your tuna?
Oh, goodness gracious, Colin, do I have to say that on air?
Did you get a tuna in Cape Town?
No, him and I were fishing together, and when you hook a big tuna or marlin, there's a thing called the black magic.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a harness and
goes
around and then it goes around your backside as well, and you put your rod in.
Yes, and then you around
yeah. So
how does it get around Big John?
No. We found one. It was a blacker magic. But I hooked this tuna, and the sea was on that day properly.
Okay, yeah.
But the previous day, Colin hooked one over 100 kilos, and also in trying conditions, came to the back of the boat. Our team member grabbed the leader, and the tuna went round behind the back of the motors, and he tried to pull it round, and the line parted.
Oh, right, okay.
And then, of course, the following day, what you do in Cape Town, you go behind the stern trawlers, and the skipper will say to you, okay, because it's like a restaurant for the tuna. When they pull in the nets, the tuna come up to feed there, you see.
Okay.
And then the skipper told us, okay, what you do, you strip 20 meters of line off, put like a little sinker in a pilchard, and then you stand there and you'll say,
he's got some lekker tips here.
And then he'll say, okay, guys, the tuna are 20 meters under the boat. And you just throw the pilchard, it'll drop down to 20 meters, and you stand with your rod and wait. And of course, the oaks were all on that side of the boat, and I was on this side of the boat. And the skipper turned around and he said, Johnny, is that your line streaming off? So I said, I said, how many meters of line is it? And I said, about 800 meters. And then the fight was on.
Okay.
And it came up onto the surface a couple of times. But after about 15 minutes, this black magic was bothering me. So I said to Colin, take this piece of shit off me now. So I fought that fish. I fought that fish without the black magic.
Oh, wait, I think he said Colin mentioned something about a paintball.
No, we'll get there. Then time was up, and they gave us another hour. So I played this fish for 4.5 hours, and then the leader parted.
Holy.
Of course, the next day, when I stood there, it looks like 1,000 oaks had shot me with paintballs. I had so many blue marks all over me from repositioning
Tell
this
me
rod.
about that.
Yeah,
Tell me
no.
about that. So Colin says he's got lots of stories about you if you need.
No. You must go to sleep as fast as bedtime now. Yeah, otherwise I'll start talking about him and his serviette in Wild Coast.
Yeah, I see Ricky Lowe says the bestest night of his life was obviously fishing. What makes your charters so special and different from others? Do you
My clients.
You reckon?
My clients.
Got the right.
A lot of the oaks are doing a lot of advertising. I fortunately don't have to.
Okay.
I must just
So you
say
get repeat business.
I get repeat business, and I'm just so thankful for the clients that I've got.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, but that's great. You know,
There's-
that forms like a community in your.
Camilla,
Hey,
they're
Camilla.
absolutely spectacular lady fishermen at our club.
Really?
And we've just got the second bunch of ladies that have bought their own boat.
Wow.
We've got one lady, Lisa, that owns her own boat, and we've got a group of ladies. Their boat's going to be called Doris. They are busy completing the boat as we speak.
Lovely. What kind of boat?
It's a bucket. That's the only boat that
Tell us, we were discussing before the show about the
I saw
about
there
the
was-
different boat manufacturers around here.
Yeah, look, Gino, they say it's horses for courses, but
Yeah.
in the Eastern Cape, years ago, the commercial boats were 99% of them were buckets.
Okay.
Built in Port Alfred, mold was built in the mud
Yeah.
by John Butt.
Yes. John and Charles Butt was the original.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Guys,
There have been guys that have copied them in that. Now, your butt cat, that they say cat because it's got two holes.
Okay.
You get a monole as well.
Catamaran.
Yeah, but for our Eastern Cape waters, it's been proven over and over that your butt cat is your best.
Really? Okay. So, so obviously, maybe with the fact that it's lots of wind. I don't know.
Man, yeah, it just handles the water better. And obviously, from those years when John built the commercial, can you call it commercial grade butts, they've taken it to another level.
Sure.
And Buttcat Boats in PE are building some of the finest boats out there. I know there's an oak that's having one built now. Won't mention the name of the boat, but you're looking at 4.4 million
Wow.
for a fishing
Holy
boat.
crap.
But obviously, you
Yeah.
could probably get that boat for 1.5, but it all depends
Yeah.
what you put on all the
Well, yes.
bells and whistles that you put
So
on the
say
outfit.
from 1.5.
But that's like a McCoy. You know,
Yeah,
you
of course.
can get smaller ones than that for
Yes.
cheaper.
Yeah.
And then
Amazing. And I mean, there's a couple of guys. He said he's got the Yamaha.
Yeah, we got
agency.
Buttcat boats, which is run by Len. They put the Yamahas on there. Then we've got the Suzuki guys,
Yes.
which is Warren Rachman.
Okay.
Those are the guys that look after my boat for me.
Interesting. Okay,
The motors, I must say,
Were they together originally, and then?
yeah, they just decided to go their own way and
Yeah,
do
yeah,
different
okay,
things.
okay.
You know, but
And
as I
also
said,
the two agencies, I suppose you've got. All
both
those.
actually in the valley. When we had
Okay.
that fire, they both burned down.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
but they've risen from the ashes
Yeah.
exponentially. You know?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And that's good to hear. So there's a boat manufacturing alive and well here. I believe
Man,
it's buying in
I actually
St.
spoke to the guys the other day, you know, and I said, you know, isn't this boat bubble going to burst?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the clients that I take out, you hear about the economy taking a dip, interest rates that have gone up and things like that, but oaks are just building new boats and building new boats all the time. You know, Len can't keep up.
Yeah.
I think if you had to order a Buttcat now, he'll say to you, you can get in November next year.
Jeez. And there's this Nexus guy in St.
That's John.
Yeah,
he
but that's
builds
a
those
fancy
Nexus.
yachts.
That was a bender.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
Colin actually does his electric. Yeah, no, he builds those super 30 bar plus. You know,
Yeah.
But
Those
that's-
are phenomenal boats. There was one launched the other day. I think that
yeah,
finished it off.
quite so. Quite so.
Any heartwarming or inspiring stories that had happened on a trip?
Oh man, it's just I've had a husband and wife and the kids that fished with me, and they were going through a divorce.
Oh yeah.
And this chick hooked a fish, and the
Yeah.
husband was the first one that ran over to help her.
Oh right.
And when they got off the boat, it seemed like
Things
Everything was
just
sorted,
the
you know?
waters
Yeah.
were okay. Till
Yeah,
they got home and started mooring.
Well,
you know.
I don't know, but it was just
It was
nice,
nice, yeah.
to see things like that, you know.
But you know that shows that it can be a thing that pulls a family together.
Absolutely. Look, it's a family thing, you know. I mean, like a lot of the oaks when they get down here on holiday, especially the oaks from up country.
Volleys, yeah.
I don't want to say volleys.
Volley. We can say volleys.
Yeah, okay, because they come down here and you don't bugger around with their fishing time. You know,
Yeah.
they work hard and they play hard.
Yeah, okay. So
And,
they're serious fishermen. Then.
Yeah, look, I take my hat off to them. Those oaks already start booking here.
Yeah.
I'll start booking now already for December, January, you know, to make sure they get their spot.
I like it. I like that. Well, we're gonna. I'm sure a couple more questions to do. We'll take 3 or 4, and we'll. But just a quick history of yourself as well. Where were you from originally?
I'm from Port Elizabeth.
Born and bred.
I grew up in Port Elizabeth. I
Schools?
went to Sydenham Primary, Pearson
Sydenham
High.
Primary, is it? Nice.
And I'll put a question out there to the general public. I went to 1 primary school and 1 high school, but I went to 4 schools. I must work that one out for me.
Oh my word! Well,
Yeah, if somebody can work that out, they get a free charter.
So you went to 1 high school, and where was the high school? High school did you go to? One of them.
Pearson.
Pearson.
Yeah.
My word! So you went to so that means that Sydenham must have had 3 different changes. Was it North End grade? Was it like that?
Sydenham has been Sydenham all the years.
Yeah, but how does that work that you had 4 different schools?
I was in the old Sydenham Primary, and they broke the school down. They built a new school.
Oh, really?
And then I was at Pearson on the Hill.
Yeah. Oh,
and then
Pearson
they built
on
a
the
new
hill.
Sydenham new Pearson in Summerstrand.
Was that
Erika.
the tower next to the King Edward? Was that?
Yeah,
that one?
no. It was the Erika School.
Erika
Yeah,
School.
yeah.
Was that Pearson?
Yeah.
On the hill. What a beautiful school that is.
Yeah.
Eh? So you moved down to the
Summerstrand,
new
yeah.
one as well?
Then rugby took a dip because we had all the boertjies up there.
Oh.
And then, of course, all the
We went
waxes
down,
and surfers.
Down
and
at
that,
Summerstrand, it was like
But
no
some
way.
of those English surfers could run, I must say. Yeah,
Well, I tell you what, Pearson has picked up its game again. Eh?
no, look, it's
Schools.
excellent high school.
Amazing.
Yeah, as I said, grew up in Piabinia my whole life. My sister has, my boot has as well, you know.
Okay.
So,
And Alan's all.
and I wouldn't move from here, yeah. No.
And you said that you worked with Aberdare Cable.
Yeah.
And what else? When you left school, did you?
Yeah,
go straight in?
I started an apprenticeship,
Yeah.
and I worked for the old South African Railways and Harbours.
Okay.
And then it just became one of those sort of things, okay, you got to work, and when you get to that position, you get promoted. And I thought,
Yeah.
and I put out the feelers, and I went and worked for a German oak that manufactures lights.
Okay.
Very, very difficult, man. That company is still going in PE.
Yes.
And then from there, I went and worked at Almosa.
Okay.
It was electric lamp manufacturers of South Africa, the best company I've ever worked for.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they closed down due to sleeping government.
Oh yeah, of course.
We had to get market related with the world,
Yeah.
and import duties were supposed to be dropped by a certain percentage over a couple of years, and they didn't put a percentage in there.
So put it out of
And the
business.
next thing, thousands of lamps are being imported. Yeah.
Of course,
And
like
then,
the textile industry.
then I went to Aberdare. I was there for 12 years. Very good company.
That was with Alf and
Elf, he was there. A great engineer.
really, yeah.
I'll tell you something. That is one of the true engineers.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing that couldn't be done. Never mind if there wasn't a crane. Elf knew exactly what to do to make that thing get into that position.
Yeah. So you need guys like that, and his wife Charlotte. Of course, I was with his daughter Stella, who's an amazing musician, Stella Connie, and she's over in Ireland now. I think she's in Ireland.
Didn't she play the violin or something?
She played the piano really well, but I think she might have played violin. She is very musical, and now she was conducting an orchestra for a long time. They've got grandchildren. I saw Charlotte the other day, and I gave her a big hug. What a lovely lady.
Peter took over from Elf.
Okay.
And and Peter actually did his apprenticeship at Aberdeen, and
Okay.
he's a qualified electrical and mechanical engineer.
Wow.
You know?
Okay. I see Fire's giving us a message here. As well. What's he saying? Sorry, couldn't be with you. Gino, what species, in your opinion, and experience are in trouble? So which fish?
I would say to Mike Geelback.
Geelback.
Geelback, because, you know, our Geelback have always been a prolific species. They were, if I can say, overexploited by the commercial guys.
Yeah.
And if you look at the sardine run, our boats go out there, they catch 60 ton of sardine in a night. So let's not say us recreational anglers are taking the bait away from the penguins.
Jeez, no.
And we haven't had Geelback here for 8 years. They come, you'll see in December times, they'll come as far as Cape St. Francis, and the guys will start catching them from Boknes again. But nothing over here by us. Wow. You'll go out one day and you get a shoal of a couple of the little sprats. I mean, we got one of 7.5 kilos the other day, one fish. You know? But not like in the past we used to go out and...
So something that's worrying you there.
It's a concern. Obviously, the cob species, the cob are at the islands. You don't really get cob around the wild side. And that in the deeper waters in wintertime, you get them.
Okay.
But I think the one positive about the reserve, you'll get your cob breeding there. Okay. And they'll start moving out of the reserve
when they get
so that is one good thing.
Fantastic.
But unfortunately, there's still a lot of boats poaching in that area. I mean, there's poaching all over the show with your Paddler Moon and whatever. But there are still some boats poaching in the reserve there.
Okay.
And
have they got guys? Have they got
got guys that are supposed to do that,
but they get there's always the money and the thing that
they got no money for fuel. And this and that.
The government support is maybe not there. We always need to have this. I mean, as you know, as a fisherman, as a guy that uses the bay, you need to have those stocks there.
Absolutely. But the downside is with this reserve as well. Now everybody's pushed into other areas to go and fish. Now we sort of depleting where you could go out and catch 2 big cob on your boat. Now if you've got 6 or 7 oaks on the boat, you've caught 2 like a fish. We're happy. Now you can't go and catch those 2 cob. Now you go around the point here, and you saw me posing with that picture of those 2 Miss Lucy's, which those are beautiful fish. I would have put them back. But now you get a guy, he catches a Miss Lucy, another catches a Miss Lucy, which those things are going to become threatened if it carries on like that.
What kind of fish you got to just catch and release it, I suppose.
But now you see, because that's closed, they're forcing the guys to fish in other or congregate on
other places.
So
but like you said, the also those long line guys, they've got to find a way. Navy, I suppose, has got to take care of that stuff.
The stories that we heard with those long line years ago, we came across them. We smashed the beacons so they couldn't find them.
Okay.
And I can say this on air, we try to pull those lines into the boat. It's impossible. You can have 4 boats next to one another. You can't pull them. You can fill those boats that you can't see out of the cabin, but you will not get that line onto your boat.
No.
So we cut them and just let them sink to the bottom.
It's anything you
and then, of course, a couple of days later, we heard that our government is busy buying those long line boats, and they've got a monitor on board. And this guy's got the permit. I don't know
what kind of permit have you get for a long line? 80 kilometers.
Well, a minister can have any permit. You get coal permits and switching off electricity permits.
The thing is, when there's money involved,
that is the sad thing. I mean, with the poaching as well. I mean, when I was still at high school, we used to go to Swartkops River. You go and fish there. And then you used to see the nets. You know, the guys, they pull a net across, you know, the sprites, the little rivers that go up, little tributaries. And then when the tide comes in, they pull these nets up. Yeah. They got the sticks or little things there. Yeah. And obviously when the tide goes out, all the fish that get caught there. And it started with grunter. Okay. Well, you know, Paddlemoon is Chinese nationals.
Yes.
Then they buy grunter from the guys. Okay. Now they buy obviously the abalone. Yeah. Then pencil bait. Now they're buying flamingos.
What?
You know, flamingos as well. I don't know if they think the beaks or the toenails or whatever it's going to give them a bit of a rise. But it's sad. I mean, everything is just been wiped out.
Yeah. You know? I see Ricky saying Jimmy's braaisaus on the fish. Hoi.
Is Ricky still there?
Ricky's still there. He's still there. Have you ever gone on any fishing tours with friends? And are there any stories with just for a couple of last stories we got
Absolutely, here. Guys. We, a bunch of us from Petsec, we chartered a 70-foot catamaran in the Seychelles.
All right.
And
70 foot.
4 air-conditioned cabins.
Wow.
Desalination plant, chef on board.
What? It's like glamping.
Yeah, and we sailed to the island of Plata. Yeah. Obviously, we had to, Pierre and myself were on night duty because they were watch out for the pirates and that.
Is that
Pierre Westerveld?
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, so we sailed to the island of Plata, and then we anchored out there. And obviously, in the mornings, we fished from that area.
Yes, okay.
But the fishing was so prolific. We're catching these 25 kilo tuna. Now we got 8 rods out, you know. And I'll say, hey, Gino, your rod's going there. John, you grab it. So, of course, Pierre's rod went off.
Yeah.
And now we got 8 rods out, you know. So, Pierre's sitting there now. So we thought, let me grab this thing and wind. And it was a little bonita that was on his line. So, of course, I grabbed it. And we had a Seychellian skipper, Black Oak, on the top deck there.
Yeah.
And, of course, I was pulling this fish and he shouted, Marlin!
No way.
Next thing, Pierre standing next to me, Black Magic! Zane Zerchi had to put his Black Magic on. And he grabbed the rod out of my hands and he pulled in the sailfish, you know?
Wow.
And then, of course, I don't know if you guys know Chris de Beer, the vet.
Yeah.
Chris and his friend, another vet, Roof from Cape Town, were on the boat with us. Yeah. And Chris had their fly rods lying on the yacht. I said, if we're hooking to the tuna, he wants to hook a fly. Yeah. But it was hot, Gino. I tell you, they had like a little shade thing up there.
Yeah.
Now, the beer was in quarts. If I took a quart out the ice and I poured half it into a glass, you had to drink the other half.
Okay.
Because by the time I finished that was too hot to drink. So Chris is now sitting there in his speedo and he's getting hot. So he takes a bucket, puts a wrap around his hand, walks down the little steps at the back, and he pours the bucket to scoop a bucket of water to pull out himself, and the bucket pulls him overboard. And now we got 8 rapalas, these lures.
Yes, yeah.
So we thought, oh shit, you know, now we got to wind these things in.
So
we don't hook out Chris now, you know.
Yeah.
So by the time we got to him, he says, "Mag boys, ek's moeg." Ek sê, los die effing emmer, he's laying on the bucket. One of the actually got the life ring, he throws it, flies over his head like a frisbee, so we dived in, we got him out.
After a couple of dops, I'm sure there's lots of...
And then, of course, the oaks got sick as well. They started getting diarrhea from the ice.
Oh, my word, jeez.
That yacht, they had 2 toilets, you know, your 2 cabins this side, in your toilet, but you got a glass.
Yeah.
So you can look from this side, you can see the other side. And I said, 2 weeks that I was on the yacht, not once that I got to the toilet, that there wasn't someone in the other toilet.
As well,
yeah, we actually had to go into the one bay the one evening to get medicine for a Frenchie, one of our anglers.
Oh,
he was so sick, you know.
Get dehydrated. And of course, so the thing wasn't working.
Well, no. When you go into the little coves, we got ice offshore.
Oh,
But we got these big blocks of ice, and I said to the guys, "Is this ice clean?" So he said, "Yeah."
Of course.
Then when we got off the yacht and we had to walk to our little hotel, it was like a 1.5 hour walk.
Yeah.
And look, it's very rural.
Yeah, for sure.
These little paths where the water's flowing and the actual washing.
Oh, my word.
These big blocks of ice are there ready for collection. There's goats pissing against it. Okay.
No wonder.
No wonder, yeah.
No wonder.
It's clean ice, you know.
Oh, magic. Well,
Yeah.
John, it's been fantastic. Right? I don't know if Gary's got any more questions. I see he was typing madly there, but I think let's have a look at some of the. There's Jimmy, Ricky's having some good jobs tonight. I tell you what, it's nice to have on every now and again, going some more questions here. But Ricky,
the only reason why Ricky's still there, I'm not
Run
going
away.
to. No, it's not a run away. Yeah, is he the dispatcher?
yes. That's
Yeah,
the one.
yeah.
That's the one.
Those dispatchers, they get away with murder because there's no
Yeah,
dental
no,
records for those.
no dental
None of them have got
records.
teeth. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky, you're a champ, my man. You come on.
Lekker. We'll check you at the harbour for sure. Ricky.
Yeah, you come down there and I'll buy you a brandewijn special. And Jimmy Sauce is the best.
It is the best.
Yeah.
George who does it. He's quite. I know George Zapura, and he goes around selling and smoking the stuff. I know.
Yeah.
He's a legend guy, brilliant guy, George. Gary says, final question here. What's your biggest adrenaline rush that you've ever had?
The two American chicks on the boat when they swam.
Oh,
They didn't have costumes and they undressed.
Oh,
That's why I wasn't thinking about the sharks.
for sure. Oh, my word, they look very tasty indeed. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
No, absolute pleasure, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, Gary,
lovely. And
Gino.
And I hope that your business goes from strength to strength.
Look, as I say, there are a couple of us doing it.
Yeah.
But you've just got to be honest with your clients.
We're absolutely
Yeah.
we will do, and I hope that it gets lots of stuff over the summer as well. And we
No. Look,
encourage tourism. That's what we want to do.
And if you actually want to come down for a cruise in the harbour, let us know.
For sure.
You know, we can take
Pull
you.
in
Yeah,
and do it.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
thank you, of course, to our sponsors. Are we going to do the competition tonight? Gary, we can do the competition. We give away a case of pitch and leads to the guys that are on board now. So hang on, we're going to put all your names now at this very moment in a hat. Maybe Ricky's going to win.
Yeah, he's
Check it. We put it in a hat and we pull the lever. I believe that you can do a lot of the boardwalk guys coming
they're
out
all
there
the
as well.
big clients.
The clients come out. I see Mark Renske says great show, and thanks Mark, lekker, and Kathy Marsh saying excellent show, lovely Kathy. Maybe you can go for a bit of a ride as well yourself. Kathy's a regular as well, she's not going to be on. So we're going to put that on the screen. We're going to put your names in the hat. Let's have a look here and see. All right, you're going to share the screen quickly so we can check all the names, and we do the draw. And we're ready to go. Okay, so now we put all the names in the hat. Next week, of course, we've got Deirdre Burgers coming on. Kathy Marsh, you're on. You're the winner, Kathy. Oh, excellent.
Well done, Kathy.
We're going to send I think Wendy will get all of you, and we can do a thing of pitch and leads for you. And next week we've got Deirdre Burger from the Cheshire Homes coming on. We're gonna chat to her. She's an angel. She's going to come find out about Cheshire Homes and how it runs and what's going on. But thank you for joining us. Thank you to Spar. Thank you to Pitch and Leads for our prize as well. And make sure you get to our show. Pitch and Leads, Sovereign, and Hunters are sponsoring that too. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much, Gino.
Lekker. John.
I'll have one of those little
Cool.
pitch and
Sensational
leads now.
six. It starts on the 3rd. Get yourself a ticket. Get your tickets. See you next week.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Have a drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.